Shamu has never looked quite that terrifying. Hey you all, Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the south, more specifically Panama City, Florida. And even more specifically than that, I am in front of the Ripley's Auditorium here in Panama City. Now, I have been to every Ripley's in the United States, but whenever I'm passing through an area that has a Ripley's, I do like to stop in and check back in, because, you know, they're always rotating exhibits, showing new things, and then there's always, you know, maybe things we've missed last time. There's so much in here that it's easy to miss things. So I figured we would check back in with the Ripley's in Panama City. Follow me. I do think this is one of my favorite Ripley's exteriors. They have it built like a ship. This is the SS Ripley in the front. You look down, you can actually see the rudders turning. I am getting some Titanic vibes here. As you see, there's a huge gash in the ship. The thing I am confused about is why the water is pouring out of the ship instead of pouring in. And we see one of the lifeboats here. Uh-oh, looks like it's become embedded in the ice. Here's a salty pirate greeting us as we enter the building. All right, the gurning man tells us to go this way. We have the mighty Thor bursting out of the wall. He's made out of car parts. It's a mural of Venice on the wall there. You actually see water flowing out under that bridge into this pond here. And there's a wooden car. There's a wood car of 1936 Fiat. I'm not sure why it's floating on water. There we have buddies Iron Man and Captain America made out of sugar. Says an ant's best friend. Yes, I do think an ant would love devouring this painting. There's the Cuban eye popper, Avelino Perez Matos. He could dislocate his eyes from their sockets and pop them out at will, freaking out everyone in the immediate vicinity. Here is Walter Hudson, one of the world's largest men, who weighed 1,400 pounds at his largest. Now, there's several men that can lay claim to being the largest man, just depending on the metric. I believe Walter Hudson had the largest waist, and that's kind of his claim to fame. This is pretty disgusting. This is sculptures made out of tobacco. There is Robert Ripley and Hitler. That's an interesting choice. I love how amazingly random some of these displays can be. We have 3 cannibal skulls, a cosmonaut space glove, and a giant pig hairball. It's a small torture section right here, all these terrible implements of torture. Here's a medieval torture glove, apparently be filled with hot coals and then locked on someone's hand. You always gotta wonder who thinks up this stuff. That's just terrible. All right, let's take a look at the animal oddities that they have here. Got a 2-headed duck, and then there's a unicorn lamb. That's pretty cool. Has a very unicorn-esque horn growing out of its head. We have a 2-headed fox. Chaos reigns ×2. And then this adorable little Siamese lamb there's just more of it to love. There's a miniature Chihuahua, and the sign there says that the smallest full-grown Chihuahua only weighed 1 3/4 ounces. There's a unicorn bird, and you can see it actually has feathers growing on its horn. That's pretty unique. This poor bear here ended up getting a tire stuck around its waist and eventually died as it grew and the tire constricted it. Poor little bear. The classic fake piece of taxidermy, the fur-bearing trout, said to grow fur to combat the cold water in Canada. We have a 6-legged calf, and look at the size of that cow hairball. How does a cow even barf out something that big? And here inside a cow's stomach, all these items found in a cow's stomach. Cows will eat anything, apparently. Up here we have 2 bucks that locked their horns together and then died because they became entangled together. Here's Edward Hanger, the world's thinnest man. Looks like he's dressed up in scuba gear, maybe just to match the local flavor here. There's a ship made entirely out of old soup bones. The name of the ship being Miss Crazy Bones 4. Wonder what the first 3 Miss Crazy Bones looked like. When I was a kid, I was always fascinated by ships and bottles. I always wondered how they got the ship in there. And there's a kit right here on how it's done. You can see they have like a tool that slowly can put it together in the bottle. I imagine that would be very frustrating if you messed up. Seems like it'd be a something requires a lot of patience, something that I would never be able to do. For some reason this really grosses me out. The dog hair hat that this woman's wearing. I don't know, imagine it getting wet. Imagine going out in the rain and having a dog hair hat on soaked with rainwater. Ugh. Some chewing gum sculptures. We have Bob Marley, Elvis Presley, and Charlie Chaplin. So we have our human oddities. There's Johnny Eck, the king of the sideshow, man born with no legs, doing his famous one-hand handstand. Thomas Wetters, the man with the world's longest nose. And then Tycho Brahe, the man with the artificial golden nose, who's a Danish astronomer that lost his nose in a sword fight. Oh, here's a Q&A eye popper once again. We saw him out in the other room just a second ago. And then Grace McDaniels was known as either the mule-faced woman or the world's ugliest woman, but I strongly believe that Grace McDaniels had true inner beauty. Oh, don't want to interrupt the photo op here. See this gentleman trying to take a photo of his girlfriend in front of these dinosaur eggs and mammoth tusk, but sorry buddy, gonna have to cut through. It's a piece of Marilyn Monroe's hair. Let's clone her. We have some vampire bats up here. Down here is a vampire killing kit used for killing full-size vampires, not just bats. Got a big hefty stake right there, a cross, a gun with silver bullets, and I think those are little vials of garlic. Alright, looks like we're heading into the deep sea section. There's Rodney Fox. He famous for getting bit in a really gruesome manner by a shark. This is a shark rattle. Apparently natives in the Solomon Islands would rattle those coconuts, and apparently it would attract sharks. And then there was a hook used to catch sharks. It's a big old wooden hook. One of my favorite oddities that you'll find in Ripley's, the Fiji mermaid, the half monkey, half fish creature invented by P.T. Barnum to, what else? Separate fools from their money. So apparently this is a pearl that naturally grew with a piece of grass right through the middle. There's a dolphin skeleton there. I do find dolphin skeletons to be one of the most fascinating types of skeletons out there. This doesn't really look like anything else. It's a giant man-eating clamshell. And you can see a tie made of pearls. Valuable pearls. And this is a replica here, but this is a replica of the world's largest pearl ever found. 14 pounds. These are normal pearls. I guess a clam that big can make a pearl that big. That's pretty impressive. Here is the vampire woman Marie Christerna and the lizard man Eric Sprague. These are what are known as like made freaks. They're normal, quote unquote normal people who made the decision to transform themselves into human oddities through body modifications. There are some weapons. You have a African executioner sword used to behead slaves in Ghana, West Africa. That's pretty horrifying. And a Fiji cannibal fork used to dine on human flesh. This is interesting. This is Nigerian padlock nose jewelry. It says a chief in Nigeria put a padlock through his wife's nose to punish her for gossiping. But people saw the queen walking around with a padlock in her nose and thought it was rather stylish. And it became a tradition in the tribe to wear a padlock in your nose. Of course, if you go to Ripley's, you're guaranteed to see at least one shrunken head. Here, it looks like we got 3. They look really close to see the gory details of the shrunken heads.
And the skin was then stretched quickly into the sleeping and dipped into a pot.
Skulls. A cannibal human skull and case. So there is the skull, and I guess that's the skull box right there to keep your skull in. This is a ancestor head. I guess it's a real human head, but it's covered in clay to preserve it. Down here we have Kamala, the wolf girl, a feral child found in India. And then up here, this man is rotating while being lifted by his chest meat. That looks painful. Head up the stairs here. Fittingly enough, looks like they do have an exhibit on the Titanic here in the Ripley ship. You can see a replica of the Titanic built completely out of matchsticks. It says, what does SOS stand for? I always heard it stood for Save Our Ship. Oh, it says it does not. It says it stands for nothing. Not mean anything. That's a depressing answer. There's some items recovered from the actual ship. It's a piece of coal used on the Titanic, and there is a fork and a napkin ring actually pulled from the ship's wreckage. Guess here's the Titanic in its current state. The bottom of the sea. Where you can touch the water and see how long you can stand it. It is 28-degree water. All right, let's see how long I can stand having my hand in the Titanic water. Pretty cold. I don't know. Not that bad. Getting a little chilly. Fingers are getting a little. No, I'd like to take it out right now, but I don't feel like it's absolutely necessary. I don't know. I could go a little longer, I think. It's starting to get a little painful. Yeah, I'm gonna take it out. So, does anyone know how long that was? I have no idea how long that was. Here's a look at what the inside of the Titanic looked like 10 minutes after the iceberg impacted. Yeah, if I saw that, I'd be like, well, this isn't great.
Come on over and let Zoltar be sharing with you your fortune.
And if you do want to eat bugs, they have a little bug eating vending machine right here. Look at these Indian finger daggers. They're basically just Freddy Krueger's glove. So it's like an interactive display where they have the information on a screen in front of the artifact. See Robert Ripley there, dressed as the captain of this ship. And look at that suitcase. He's got stickers from all over the world. Makes sense, as he was a true world traveler. There's a toothpick bust of Jesus Christ. And yeah, with all due respect, Jesus has never looked more terrified. Kinetic sculpture here. This is probably the loudest sculpture I've ever encountered. You can see these pinballs going through this Rube Goldberg-esque contraption. It's really, really cool. You can see they're going, yeah, whoa, look at those. They're being lifted up through this spiral here, and they're being sent through the ball course. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is Dexter Robot, the real... Oh my gosh, that is so cool. I can't hear what he's saying, but that's pretty terrifying. Imagine if that was coming after you. It's a frog coffin. These specialty coffins are popular in Africa. They're really, really cool. I'd love to be buried in something that cool. A lot of Ripley's have matchstick sculptures. This is the world's largest matchstick sculpture. It's called the Cathedral of the Sea, and I guess it is a oil rig. And you actually control it from these buttons here. So you can turn the lights on. You can make, I think, this crane move right here. This helicopter take off. There we go. It's a beach-themed shooting gallery. And one cool thing about the Ripley Shooting Gallery is they actually incorporate some artifacts into their shooting galleries. I noticed there's a duct tape bikini hanging up there. Unfortunately, as we were recording this, we're in the middle of a national coin shortage, and I've kind of taken to not carrying cash with me, so I'm not able to participate. Bummer. Here we have Yang, the human unicorn. Up here on this wall, there's just a massive amount of tribal masks. Can you grab the jewel? Well, I sure can. Oh! Compressed air. Got me. Some more of Ripley's cast of unique characters. The lighthouse man who wore a lit candle in his skull. The human unicorn. Oh, we saw him just a minute ago. There's Ching Fu of Senshi, China, born with a rare disorder that caused him to be blue. It says that his family moved to Kansas and produced blue children for 100 years. Here's the double-eyed man, Lu Chung. If you look closely into his eyes, you see he has 2 pupils in each eye. I just noticed these stairs have piano-like qualities. And here he is, dressed in his beach bum attire, 8'11", Robert Wadlow. So thank you for joining me here at Ripley's in Panama City, Florida. Definitely saw a lot of new stuff in here, so always fun to check back in with the Ripleys whenever we are in town. Thank you again. If you'd like to help support the channel, consider donating to Patreon. $3 or more will get you a postcard once a month, and also now selling enamel pins in the Etsy shop. All that information's in the description. Until next time, this one's in the bag.